Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dota 2 update for the week of March 28th, 2011, and this is going to be our pilot episode, guys. We're going to see how things roll afterwards. Today we're going to be covering just a little bit of an introduction to Dota 2, since the game is still in its very, very infant stages. And we're going to go over a Q&A released quite a while ago, but of course we have quite a lot of news backed up since we're just starting this now. So first of all, what the hell is Dota 2? Well, if you found this podcast, you probably do know what Dota 2 is, but since this is the pilot episode, might as well just cover the grounds a little bit. Dota 2, of course, newest game to come out for Valve, or newest game announced actually, and it's going to play off the original Dota, Defense of the Ancients. A fun little fact, Dota will not be called, or will not stand for Defense of the Ancients because of a trademark issue that we'll cover in probably a later podcast. And it's going to be developed by Valve, and they have actually hired up the community developer of the original Dota. So we're going to go straight into the Q&A. That's our first thing, and probably one of our only things that we're going to cover today. I also want to talk real quick about the posters at the end, but there's not really a lot to talk about, just a lot to see. So first question, is there going to be reconnect support for Dota 2? And this is targeted directly towards IceFrog. All of these questions are, and the answer is pretty much going to be a yes, coming from Valve and IceFrog. They really want to improve on the experience. If you ever played the original Dota, you know that there's not a lot of things to improve the gameplay experience for players, and that's something that Valve wants to bring to Dota 2. Alright, and our next question, can I still play with my friends from America even though I'm European? And basically the answer that Valve is going to give us is yes, there will be cross-region support for Dota 2. And then the next question naturally comes out of the last one. How is Valve going to handle the delay and latency between players, especially in a cross-region setting? And Valve really, there's really no definite answer like yes or no to this question, like the previous questions and a lot of questions on this list. This is something that a lot of game developers have been struggling with. You want to minimize the latency, which is the time you click and the time the character reacts, especially if they want to make Dota 2 an esport. Basically, they're saying they want to optimize code, optimize servers, expanding the infrastructure. So a lot of really technical things they're trying to handle behind the scenes to try to minimize that. Of course, they're obviously going to be trying to minimize that as much as possible. The next question, what kind of hardware requirements will the game have? And basically what they're saying is that it's a bit too early to call, but they just give a really middle of the road answer. They want to support as many older computers as possible, however making sure that if you did shell out those big bucks for that hot rod gaming computer, that you're going to get the most out of that. Next question, I heard there was going to be an AI feature for when a player leaves. Is there going to be an option to take direct control of the hero? So maybe you're thinking you don't want the AI to play the hero. What if the AI sucks or is a noob? Am I going to be able to control the hero? And Valve just says, yep, it's optional. No worries there. The next question, will there be anything like the AI maps in Dota, or a training mode with difficulty levels? So Valve basically says yes, there's going to be a lot of different, scenarios and different ways to practice your game versus AI. There's going to be a bot support if you want to play by yourself. And basically they're saying that they have a lot of ways for newer players to get into the game without having to jump in to cold water, basically. Because like the original Dota and even Han, sometimes you just gotta jump into the shark's pit and learn how to swim that way. And it's not the most welcoming environment for someone just wanting to get into Dota, so they really want to give people in Dota 2 a more noob-friendly way to get into the game without getting destroyed by hate if you suck and play with a just sort of public game. The next question, Will the replay system allow me to move freely back and forwards in time rather than having to watch a whole replay? Essentially, yes. There's going to be a lot of different replay features, and they also go in that in the other questions as well. And they also mentioned that there's going to be a lot of commentating and editing features that can be added to the replay, so that's pretty cool, especially for commentators. The next question: don't you think you should make a lot of game changes to the gameplay? They're asking that they're asking if Valve is gonna really make this a whole nother game than Dota, or just really play off it and maintain some of the old features. Basically, Valve says that they will not need to make significant changes. They like how the gameplay works in Dota, the original, and they believe that, let's see here, there's gonna be sort of the natural progression of updates and games, but it doesn't seem like they want to make Dota 2 alien to Dota veterans out there, so that's really good. And of course, being developed by IceFrog, it's basically the same, except you got a lot of more different tools you can work with, and just a better experience. Maybe the gameplay will still stay generally the same, but we're gonna see. They're probably gonna give us a lot more information, especially once they actually release some footage of Dota 2. The next question: will you keep loyal to casting times like Torrent, and will it still be possible to do the advanced tricks like animation canceling, fog of war tricks we've learned? So this is more of a nitty-gritty answer, getting down to the really technical areas of the original Dota. And Valve actually says yes, they will maintain some of these little community found little tricks that they've happened to progress out of the original Dota. They want to keep what these little, not I don't want to call them bugs, but little tidbits that players have found over the long lifetime of Dota. So the next question: how will we manage replay files? Valve has been talking a lot about replay features, but where are they going to be stored? I mean, if they're just going to be in a folder in my C program files, Valve Dota 2 folder, I mean, I might not really be that inclined to watch them all that much. And Valve basically says that they will automatically be saved with your identity online with the Steam cloud storage system, so you don't have to worry about losing them. Hopefully, they will have a nice interface to browse and search for them as well. They are saying that they're going to have a replay browser tool to search and find and tag and sort and rank and favorite them. That's really cool if you can rank the replay, so you can see which ones are the most popular right off of the quote-unquote Steam replay browser. The next question: are you going to work on Dota after Dota 2 is released? Of course, directly targeted towards IceFrog, and IceFrog does say that he plans to keep Dota updated for as long as the community wants. And he says, that being said though, I think that Dota 2 represents the long-term future of the game. So what that tells me is that, of course, you're going to not completely drop Dota off the map once Dota 2 comes out. However, he wants people to move to Dota 2 so he can really keep his focus on Dota 2, because that's going to be the natural progression of the game. Die-hard Dota fans are going to kill me for saying this, but Dota is really getting a little bit long in the tooth, being almost a, what is now, maybe 8-year game, something like that, something ridiculous. The next question: how will development change with regards to your role, current beta testers, and community feedback, and etc.? IceFrog says all that stuff will remain the same, except that now I also get to work with developers at Valve. One of the cool things about Dota is that it's almost like an open source game. There's a lot of community feedback, and it's community created and community oriented game. And I guess this question is sort of alleviates some of the fear that a couple people might have about a company getting behind this and really snatching away this amazing game away from the community and into the corporate and profit-centered kind of environment. And he even goes on to say that all of our current playtesters and even contributors like Kunka are helping One of the most important things for me has always been getting input from the community. There will be a lot of opportunities throughout the next year to give your feedback on all the things they are working on, so that's going to be awesome. They're still keeping the community within the development process, which is really unique for a game like this. I mean, what other game does the community get to affect the development and the features that are coming in? So that's going to be awesome to see. Next question: are the updated graphics going to be distracting? New graphics are great, but when there's too much, you can't see what's going on anymore. And the answer is pretty much gameplay is definitely the most important aspect. Everyone on the team understands this concern, and they pretty much say that, of course, they're not going to make it too flashy, like huge explosions and everything, but they want to make it a 2011-2012 game, and that is also awesome to watch, since they're really focusing a lot of their things on sort of a spectator game and shoutcast support, which we're actually going to get into in a later podcast. There has been a couple little tidbits and news related to that, so keep an ear out for more of these. We're going to go over that. The next question: will I be able to help test Dota 2? And this is a question that I wanted to ask. Is there going to be some sort of beta process that I can get into? That's going to be awesome. The answer, word for word, is there will certainly be an opportunity to get involved with beta testing Dota 2 and help us with your feedback. And they said they'll release more information about how to sign up in the future. That's awesome that they're I wouldn't say promising that, but they're giving a nice sort of start to getting us excited for something like that. The next question: are you going to do anything to make it easier for newer players to get into the game and feel welcome? I feel that this question is really answered in one of those previous questions where there's modes that you can practice. One of the things that kept newer players away from the original Dota, and maybe even Heroes of New Earth, not so much League of Legends, is that pretty much to feel your way around the game, you have to jump straight into the shark's pit. You have to play a public game where if you suck, the 4 other players on your team will just bash you and tell you to kill yourself if you die like once. So it's really hard for noobs to get into the game and become pros, and it's really hard for them to keep motivated if they're just keep getting bashed down like so hard by people. Their direct answer is that some of what makes it hard in current Dota stems from the lack of services around the game that can foster a better relationship between players. That's pretty, and they say it's hard for players to be matched up with equally skilled allies and opponents. That's pretty much the safe way of saying that if you're a noob in Dota, you're gonna get destroyed by verbal hatred. So that wraps up this Q&A, and we're gonna give you guys a quick look at these Dota 2 posters. Just going over it, we got Bloodseeker right here. He's looking pretty tough and just really scary. We got Dro Ranger, of course, one of the most popular heroes to make art out of, and a little surprised that it was included in the poster. We got Morphling, a very popular hero in the original Dota. He's looking pretty boss right now. And last but not least, we have Alina. She's looking really good, looking really tough, and also looking pretty hot as well on many different levels. Alright, so this pretty much concludes our very first Dota 2 update, our pilot episode. We are now finally off the ground. This is the week of March 28th, 2011. I'm Balanced Breakfast, and hope to see you in the next episode. I'm gonna go off and play me some Dota and Han, and I'll see you guys next time.